welcome back to the channel. Dag and I are just about to head out the door because it is that time of year again where we are going to plant a vegetable garden, and I am so excited. If you guys watched our gardening video last year, we planted a garden, we made a garden bed and everything as soon as we moved into our house. However, we planted so late in the year that our vegetables never really had a chance to kind of actually grow. Everything kind of grew a little bit and then got stunted and just never produced any vegetables because it was just so hot here. So we're actually trying to plant during the right time of year in this climate, which is right now is prime time to get everything going. So we're gonna run to the store. The Peanut is currently sleeping, so we need to wake her up, feed her, and then we are gonna head out. I have a whole list of vegetables that we're going to plant this year. We're gonna do things a little bit different than last year. I didn't really research a whole lot last year on vegetables. I kind of just grabbed a bunch of things that I just wanted to plant, threw them in the bed, hoping that they would do really well. And then I learned this year that certain vegetables don't grow well together and certain vegetables need different depths of soil. So we were trying things out a little bit differently this year. We're gonna get some squash, some leafy greens. We're doing peas and beans, and then we have some tomatoes. Actually, we have a tomato that Dagan found in our garden bed from last year. It re-sprouted, so he dug that out and put it in a smaller container that we're gonna transplant into a bigger pot. And then I'm gonna get another tomato plant, maybe some herbs, some marigolds and whatnot, and just plant away and see what flourishes this year. So I'm really excited. This is something that kind of him and I enjoy doing together, and I love that now we can incorporate our daughter into these things and just kind of have a little family thing to do together. Also, it's just so good for the soul. I feel like gardening and just being outside in nature and growing your own fruits and vegetables is just so good, especially today's day and age where everything's so expensive too. But just being able to grow something yourself and see the fruits of that harvest, I think is just a very rewarding thing. So yeah, that's what we're gonna do. Go pick out some veggies today, clear out the garden bed, and probably plant everything tomorrow. And yeah, I'm excited. So if you guys want to come with us while we put our garden together, then come hang out with us. Enjoy this video. It's gonna be super chill. So we are about to begin cleaning out our garden bed, but I wanted to share with you guys the vegetables that we got yesterday. We went to 2 different places. We started off at Home Depot, but surprisingly there wasn't that much there, which I feel like Home Depot always usually has really good variety of vegetables and herbs, but there was only a really small flies. There was only a really small palette. So we did end up going to the NEX garden store, which is the military's garden store, and we found a lot more. But I'm just gonna share everything that we got. We got a bunch of leafy greens. I got 2 things of spinach. This is manila lettuce. I think it's just a local type of lettuce, and then this is just a summer crisp lettuce. We're gonna do 2 rows of leafy greens. That way we have just a lot of stuff for salad. Dagan got a pepper, and this is a hot red habanero pepper, so he loves growing those. I will be taking no part in ingesting that. For herbs, we got some thyme. I got a little sprig of rosemary. This is oregano, I believe. And I have a long little tiny garden bed that I'm going to put the rosemary, oregano, and thyme in. Got some mint, which I didn't realize mint will need to be in its own separate thing. I thought it could sit well with the other herbs, but I guess you have to put it in its own pot. It doesn't really like the other herbs that I got very much. But I also got some basil, which I'm going to plant in with the tomato. This tomato re-sprouted from our garden bed from last year, and I honestly don't know which tomato it is because we got a red and a yellow one, and so I will not know until it starts producing fruit, and it's already got some flowers. But in case you didn't know, you can plant basil with your tomatoes and they actually grow really well together. The basil kind of helps the tomato grow, gives it nutrients, and they kind of just complement each other really well. So if you ever are wondering what goes well with a tomato, just think of basil, or you can think of like a caprese salad. What goes in a caprese salad? Tomato and basil. So that's kind of how I remember it. And then I also just got about 4 marigolds, which are really great to put in your vegetable garden. They help kind of deter away bad pests that you don't want in there. And so I'm going to kind of just like place them out in between all the stuff. But lastly, we got some seeds to put in the ground as well. I got my usual zucchini, which we're going to put in there. I also got some yellow summer squash, so we're going to do one of each. And then I got some bush beans, which in the past we've done beans, but we've always done them like on a vine and had like a little trellis, and I didn't really feel like making a trellis this year or buying one. So I'm going to try and grow bush beans and do a couple bushes of those and see how that works. So basically in our big garden bed behind you guys, we're going to do the squash, the leafy greens, the beans, put the marigolds in there, and then in a separate pot we'll do the tomatoes, basil, and pepper, and then the herb garden. So that is what we got planned. We gotta clear out the garden bed first, pull out all the weeds and everything, put some fresh soil in there, and then we'll get to planting. Those won't like eat the roots of our veggies and ruin them?
No, they're just... Who's that? Is that Chance? Chance! What the heck? No.
Chance!
Is that Chance? Where's he inside?
Chance!
Chance!
Chancey, come here! Just had to take a pause on filming because Chance decided it would be a good idea to run away. We had our gate open and he's usually so good about staying in the backyard and not running off. And I noticed I was hearing this like weird sound down the street. I heard something and then I realized he wasn't in the backyard, and then we saw him down the street and I called him. You could hear in the video. I called his name and he looked right at us and then decided to just go trot down the street, and Dagan had to run down the street and go get him. And of course he didn't have his collar on because we've been taking it off him lately just because he itches it a lot. Buddy! Why'd you do that? You gave mommy a heart attack. Did you think it'd be fun to go for a little stroll by yourself? Yeah. He knows he's in trouble. It's okay. I still love you. So I'm gonna move on to my herb garden, and what I'm gonna put in here is we're gonna do some rosemary. This is thyme, and then some oregano. And hopefully these grow well together, because last time I tried planting some herbs in here and they just like never sprouted. I think they just like took over one another. So we're gonna try these three instead, see if they grow. And then I'm gonna put the thyme on the side, and I'll put it kind of like on the edge, that way it can kind of just drape over as it grows. My tomato plant. I'm gonna put it in this pot because you really want to have a deeper pot or garden bed for tomatoes. And then I have this basil plant that I'm gonna put around it. I'm gonna see if I can break up some of these stalks. Whenever I'm planting something, I really enjoy kind of getting in the dirt with my hands and just feeling the earth as I plant everything. That nice and firm in the pot, and then just add our basil. I'm just gonna kind of lightly tear this apart and see if I can separate these at all. These look pretty stuck together, so I'm just gonna put them on one side. So we're gonna attempt to grow potatoes, but I've never done this before, so this is kind of like an experimental vegetable that we're gonna try. So I'm gonna put 2 potatoes in just because these already have a couple eyes. This one we pulled out of our garden that kind of already sprouted, so I'm just gonna kind of stick them in the soil. I think for one potato, like a bunch grows depending on the size of the pot that you have them in. So I'm just gonna put them in like this, cover it up. I'm just gonna stick this one right in here, kind of flat so that the eyes are sticking up, and just kind of lightly cover that one. And then we'll see if anything comes of this. Whew. Wow, We have finished gardening. Do I have like indents on my forehead? Oh my goodness. We have finished the garden. Everything is planted. It is looking so good. I am so stinky right now. I feel like I smell like manure. We didn't even get any like manure put in the garden, but the soil that we got, it's like super organic and clean, so I'm assuming it has some in there. I don't know. I stink really, really bad. So I need to go shower, but everything is planted. We got the tomatoes and the zucchini and squash and all that, and the lettuce. Everything looks just like so pretty and nice. I also put in some marigolds as well to help with just like controlling the pests and whatnot. I really read that that helps. So I put those in kind of like 4 spots of the garden that kind of can reach to all the vegetables. Planted my herbs. Everything looks great. So I'm really hoping our garden flourishes this year. I will keep you guys posted as far as like how's it going. I feel like anything is better than what last year's garden was, because last year was just like a flop. I think we were just so excited to garden in Hawaii again because it's such an ideal climate to garden that we just like threw everything in the pot and literally nothing grew. I'm hoping we do a better job this year, and I'm just excited to see how it goes. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video and just kind of got to relax with me while I gardened. I feel like this was just something very soothing for me personally, for my soul. I just love being outside, getting my hands dirty, planting stuff, and being able to see the fruits of our labor, and being able to share that with our daughter. And Dag and I love doing that, like gardening together. It's like our favorite thing to do. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will see you in the next one.